Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighna Upashantaye Gajanana Padmarkam Gajanana Maharnisham Anekadam tam bhaktanam ekadantam upasmahe Gnananandamayam devam nirmalasphatikakritim Adharam sarva vidyanam hayagrivam upasmahe Gnananandamayam devam nirmalasphatikakritim Adharam sarva vidyanam hayagrivam upasmahe Krishnam kamalapatraksham punyasravanakirtanam Vasudevam jagadjonim naumi narayanam harim Namo Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are just in the series of knowing so much of wisdom, knowledge, life experience, problems and solutions and all that in the Vidura Neethi. But Vidura is Sakshat Yama himself. Therefore, Yama is a learned scholar. Yama is strict about dharma, the duty. He can never swerve from his duty, and he can even go against the boss but to execute his work. But only when boss interferes and then says, then only he will oblige. This is the truth in case of Shiva and Vishnu's, the bosses are one, they are both are one only. Vishnu, that is Krishna, wanted his guru's son be brought back to life. Then Yama was there to take his life off. But Krishna interfered and got the life back of the son of his guru, Sandeepa Maharshi. Then in case of Shiva, you all know that Markandeya, Murkandu's putra, Markandeya, he got back life extension, Chiranjeevi. And therefore, we observe that Yamadharmaraja is known for strictness, discipline, and duty-minded. Such Yamadharmaraja, Yama is now bound to this. And there is also one more version about the characters in Mahabharata. Hello.
నేను రాసినట్టుగా చక్కగా రాసి వాళ్ళకి పంపించడానికి ఫార్వర్డ్ చేయమని లలితే పంపించడమో రామకు పంపించడమో చేయమంటుంది.
So that is the Yama's greatness. So now let us go to the text actually. And you know, the whole crisis is to Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra, because he is sandwiched with his brother's children, Pandavas, and also his own son, Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, and his brothers. So he has to strike a medium and he has to strike some kind of treaty between them. But it is really hard. Actually, it is a very hard job because one can decide his own children, his own sons who are rebellions, who do not want to listen to the parent or parents, and they want the luxury, they want enmity with the Pandavas. On the other hand, we have the affectionate Pandavas who are duty minded, who respect father. Who want to respect father, father's brother. రికార్డింగ్లో ఉంది, విన్నాను. అయింది, అర్జెంట్ ఏం లేదు, మళ్ళీ చేస్తాను. సో in between the two things, one is affectionate brothers' children who want to have their share in the land because they underwent whatever condition was there and completed. So let me go into the text. లేదు, నేను క్లాస్లో ఉన్నాను, రికార్డింగ్ ఉంది, బుద్ధి చేసుకో. So I am in chapter number 37, 40th stanza. సత్కృతాశ్చ కృతార్థాశ్చ మిత్రాణి న భవంతి యే తాన్ మృతానపి క్రవ్యాదాః కృతఘ్నా నోపభుంజతే. Actually, Vidura is very angry, and he is trying to talk about the drastic consequences. So here he is talking about, earlier Vidura has talked about uh, certain natural things. हंसाः शुष्कं सरः यथा अर्थाः समधिवर्तन्ते चलति चलचित्तमनाः आत्मानं इंद्रियाणां वशानगम. So those people who is having the control of indriyas over himself, and them, the arthas won't happen. Whatever goals that you want to won't happen, because they are like when they uh, so when the water and all that is emaciated in a lake, the hamsas automatically leave out. Hamsa is a very special animal, a spiritual animal, in respect of its habits, in respect of all those things. Therefore, here hamsas are likened to the Pandavas, and the stubbornness will be the Kauravas. Therefore, those people who are slave to the senses, they will be forsaken by the. So akasmadeva kupyanti. Also, there are some people who are weak-minded. They suddenly give room for anger, and they are like clouds that are so inconsistent in the sky. Then Satkrutascha, Krutarthascha. Now I am coming to the 40th stanza. Satkrutascha, Krutarthascha, Mitranam na bhavanti ye, Tan mrutanapi kravyadaha, Kritagnan novabhunjate. So now you see the another unfortunate thing is that hello. The very birds pray abstain from touching the dead bodies of those who, having been served and benefited by friends, show ingratitude to them. That is Kritagna. The Kritagnas are also being Kritagnas are being not at all even touched when they die. They get all benefits from people, but they will not be able to they will not be able to attend to them. And so the even the birds and worms and all that, they will not touch the corpses. So Satkrutascha, Kritarthascha, Mitranam, ye nabhavanti, tan mrutan api kavyadaha, Kritagnan novabhunjati. The very birds of prey abstain from touching the dead bodies of those who have been served or who have been honored, who have received a lot of benefit from others, but they don't show any gratitude towards them. The next one is the 41. Artha, I'm just reading the 41 and 42 slokas. Arthaye devam mitrani sati vasati va dhane Nanarthan avajanati mitranam. Don't call me, I'll come back. 40 minutes I run out on the recording. Stupid like Malatu. Arthaye devam mitrani sati vasati vadhane nanarthayan vijanati mitranam sara falgutam. So, and santapad भ्रस्यते रूपम संतापाद भ्रस्यते बलम संतापाद भ्रस्यते ज्ञानम संतापात व्याधिम रुच्छति. You see, santapa is the worry. So these two mean this अर्थये देवं मित्राणि सति वासति वा धने नानर्थयन् विजानाति मित्राणां सारफल्गुताम्. You see, be best thou poor or best beest thou rich, you should not should you should honor your friends until some service is asked. The sincerity or otherwise of friends cannot be known. Simply, we can go on collecting the number of friends, but actually, you should try to test them also by asking something and see that how they are able to react to your request. So that is really great. But there are people who don't respond, and therefore, Dhritarashtra is being advised by Vidura that whatever be the status in which people are there, you should be able to honor until some service is asked. The sincerity or otherwise of friends cannot be known. ಸೊ ನಿಜವಾದ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರು ಯಾರು ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬೇಕೋ ಆವಾಗ ಅವರನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿಕೊಂಡು ನೋಡಬೇಕು ವೆದರ್ ದೇ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡ್ ಟು ಯುವರ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ದೇ ರಿಮೈನ್ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆರ್ indolent about it. So here Dhritarashtra is believing more and more number of people. But he should know how they are trying to help him basically, because Duryodhana is committed to ruin not only himself and also his parents and whole Rajyam and also people. You remember 11 Akshohini Sainyam in the war to fight with the Arjuna, Dharmaraja, where Krishna is there, and their army was only 7 Akshohinis. And Duryodhana told Dronacharya, all these people are so sincere to me, Madarte Tyakta Jivitaha. So they are ready to sacrifice their life. But Arjuna was not like that. He said, I am not going to kill all of them. And that was so there is an attitude difference. And therefore Arjuna was able to win over that Santapa. But this fellow had no Santapa at all. So supposing you have got Santapa, if you don't attend to that, then you will perish. So in 42nd sloka, Santapad Rupam Brasyate. Santapas Balam Nasyate Brasyate. Santapat Gnanam Brasyate. Santapad Vyadhim Ruchyati. So Santapa and Sandeha, these are the two great problems which Krishna touched in Bhagavad Gita, and here also Vidura touched it before Bhagavad Gita. So so Sandeha will also make the fellow perish. Samsayatma vinasyati. That is Krishna saying in Gita, anybody who has got samsaya, he will perish. Similarly, here our Vidura is telling that if you have got that Vishada, not understanding that Vishada will make you completely lost. So you imagine, but because in Bhagavad Gita, a great Yogeswara like Krishna is there on the side of Pandavas, he was able to be successful. And the Vishada was answered to the extent that Arjuna said, Nashto moha smriti labdha tat prasada janardana. He says, moha and smriti, these are these get eclipsed by the Vishada. I mean to say that people pick up moha and klaibyata, hridaya daurbalyam, and all that will come because of the sorrow. That's why he says that sorrow will kill the beauty. That is the rupam. What is rupam? Whatever you want to establish yourself or achieve or get distinction, all that will be marred if you are completely sobbing, crying, complaining and all that. Second one is that strength. You lose strength also when you are in sorrow, when you are in grief, when you are in santapa. Likewise, it will also be spoiling the understanding power in you, tolerance power in you, and you will say you will reject everything. Those people who are not happy, they will refuse any and everything. Therefore, ultimately what would happen if you are in grief and sorrow, that will be bringing you disease to the body. And there are two meanings for that. You see the words saying that Santapam Vyadhim Ruchati. Even to be born also is a Vyadhi. Even to die also is a Vyadhi. That Marana Janana is ultimate. Vyadhi means which spreads. And therefore, the Santapa is not at all recommendable to anybody. Therefore, now Vidura is telling in the 43, 44 slokas, Anavapyam cha sokena sariram cha upatapyate amitrascha prahursyanti masma soke manaha krithaha punaha naraha mriyate jayate cha punaha naraha hriyate vardhate cha पुनः नरः याचति याच्यते च पुनः नरः ಶೋಚತಿ ಶೋಚ್ಯತೆ ಪುನಃ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ವಿದುರ. ವಿದುರ ಈಸ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ಅಸ್ ದಿ ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಫ್. And what is philosophy? That is, we have to love wisdom, pick wisdom, because normally the mind is ready to drop down, think low, lose confidence. So that is the nature of the mind. That is a fickle mindedness. So what happens? We know Vidura is talking about the disadvantages of the grief. In Ramayana, Valmiki speaks of the disadvantages of anger. Krodho nasayate sarvam kruddha kim nakaroti ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Even Bhartrahari Subhashitas also tell you all our moral texts will point out the anger is a fire, and that anger, before it burns anybody else, it burns you only. It just kills you. That's why Mahavrutha kopam karayet. And you should not become angry, and you should not make that anger to grow. Same manner, even the sorrow also, santapa also is like that. See, what does do, if at all you are sorrowful, for child is different. But for grown-up adults and further, if they are in grief, nobody can help them. For example, grief does not help in gaining anything at all for adults and other people. ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮಕ್ಕಳಾದರೆ ಅಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಗೊಂಬೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಬಟ್ ದೊಡ್ಡವರು ಅಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ nobody bothers about them. Therefore, your shoka, shoka will not help you to gain anything and to achieve the object for which you are working for. Second idea is Sariram cha upatapyate. On the other hand, you are making yourself getting exhausted. How long you cry? You get exhausted and you cannot be comfortable. Therefore, it dries up the body. Parisushyate upatapyate means even the Sariram also get fatigued and tired. It will not be prosperous. But your soka, your grief, your sorrow is an advantage to your enemies. Because ಅಮಿತ್ರಾಶ್ಚ ಪ್ರಹುಷ್ಯಂತಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಶತ್ರುಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಸಂತೋಷ ಪಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಎನಿಮೀಸ್ ಈಸ್ ರಂಧ್ರ ಅನ್ವೇಷಣೋ ಹಿ ವಿದ್ವೇಷಿಣಃ. Your haters, your enemies always looking for some loophole, some mistake or some dosha in you and in your behavior, making that highlighted, they will catch you. So we have got number of examples in our own Vedic texts and Puranas. Best example is that Nala Maharaja. You see, also Harishchandra, and all these people are there. Harishchandra is a Satyavan, but Vishwamitra Maharshi took a challenge that he will make him utter. And Shani also made that. So ultimately, when there was some loop point, that Harishchandra was given all the trouble. Similarly, Nala Maharaja. Similarly, so many other emperors are there. Therefore, what is that is one has not to be a shoka parata. So they should be always happy. Amitrascha prahursyanti. Your enemies become more and more happy. And therefore, manaha shoka ಅನ್ನೋದು ಯಾವುದು ಅಂದರೆ it refers to the mind. Mental fatigue, mental grief, mental work. Body grief is different. Body grief is pain. So you can take something to get rid of the pain, temporarily or permanently. But if it were to refer to the mind, it is highly dangerous. So mental bhasha. So manasika badha continues, and sharir badha you can stop it. Therefore, Vidura knows the differentiation between the physical agony or physical grief and mental grief. So, grief is disadvantageous to you in person. Grief is advantageous. Your grief is advantageous for your enemies. So, you have to keep our spirits always on, lively, and see that you are really benefited by being calm, quiet, wise, intelligent, judicious, and all that. And again, what is the state of our life? No man is permanent on the land. We have been seeing so many people coming and going. That's why in our Saura Suktam, the Rishi will tell, Pasyan Janmani Surya. Surya Bhagavan is not at all hurt. He is just normal. People are coming, people are going, and that is a kala vidhi, that is the loka, vyapara, vyavahara, and all that will take place. So, and even Bhagavad Gita or Sister Gita or all Gita texts and all moral texts will talk the same thing, what has been said by Vidura, because Vidura, he is the source. Vidura Neethi in Mahabharata is a standard text for all people, because whatever Neethi that has been pointed out in earlier texts before Mahabharata is being almost codified and brought into a small booklet, a section in Mahabharata, because Mahabharata is containing more than 1 lakh slokas. And and among that, the division is there differently, and everything is Mahabharata. That's why it is said, what is in Mahabharata is everywhere. What is not in Mahabharata is nowhere. So yadihasti tadanyatra, yadihanasti tadanyatra nasti. So anta Mahabharatakke complement. So that's why ವ್ಯಾಸೋಚ್ಛಿಷ್ಟಂ ಜಗತ್ ಸರ್ವಂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸಿ ಜಗತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಾಸೋಚ್ಛಿಷ್ಟಂ ಎನಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟೆಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಬೈ ವ್ಯಾಸ ಭಗವಾನ್. Therefore, Vyasochishtam Jagat Sarvam, the entire world of knowledge is but already spoken by Vyasa Bhagavan. That's why, because who is this Vyasa? Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya, Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave, Namo Vai Brahmanidhaye, Vasisthaya Namo Namaha. See, he is a Brahmanidhi. Brahma is the knowledge. Therefore, Malladi Chandrasekhara Shastri a great exponent of Mahabharata, knowledge on Mahabharata, and he has given large number of discourses on Mahabharata at various centers all through his life. And he was telling that Mahabharata ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ ಭಿಕ್ಷಾ. And whatever I said in Mahabharata, nobody can misunderstand, create lot of stories. No, genuinely Mahabharata is this because it's a moksha shastra. Moksha dharma also is spoken about. And in order to get hold of the moksha dharma, one has to get rid of the moha. See, Bhagavad Gita and Anugita. Anugita we are teaching, when we are holding classes, Anugita on every Wednesday at 9 o'clock here, and for you in the morning, 7:30 in India. So in Anugita, what is that being taught is the how to get rid of the moha and what are the dharma for moksha. So like that, in other words, indirectly, even Vidura is also giving us clues how best you can work out to get moksham from the cycle of birth and death and all that. We don't know. So here you will observe in the 34th sloka of 36th chapter saying that Punaha naraha mriyate jatasya maranam dhruvam is Krishna. Here, see, punaha mriyate naraha. Man is born. Again he is born. Again he is born. So birth cycle keep going. At the same time, punaha naraha hriyate vardhate punaha. And again, repeatedly, the man born withers away and grows. That is, he becomes weaker, weaker, weaker every day. Yeah, so that's what Shankaracharya and Bhajagovinda Stotram gives you. When people look at sun, they become very happy. Udayam Suryasyodanam Prati Sarva Harshitaha Bhavanti. So when Surya is born, people are happy, they celebrate it. But they don't know that every time the Surya is born, they are losing the age or stay upon the earth. So this is interesting. I told you, Gadiyarambu takku takkumuni vegam kottu శబ్దంబు వెంబడి ఆయుష్యములు ఒక్కటొక్కటిగా డిగ్గును సోపానంబులు డిగ్గునంత. Slowly everything will come down, down and down. Therefore, here, hriyate vardhate. When you are born, you can't remain the same in the cradle. You can't remain always playing in the street with your cycle or with your cricket wickets or with anything like that. You have the time cooks you away. That's why in Atharveda, grow is that vardhatena vaga kalaha pachati bhutani kaloyam jagadbhakshakaha. Atharveda says, see, the time eats away all people, and kala, the time, is jagadbhakshaka. Jagadbhakshaka means is a devourer of the entire world. There is no discrimination for time. Ayo, no discrimination, no postponement. When clock clicks, then he will come and pick you out. Therefore, but as long as you breathe life, there is decay and growth. And again, punaha naraha yachati yachyate cha. So again and again, he will seek help from others and he will be sought for help from others. So the sahaya or help, because man is never independent. No man can stand on his own shoulders. Everybody stands on the shoulders of the others. That's why it is said, Atmanaha skandham nakobi arohati. See, nobody can climb one's own shoulders by oneself. Therefore, yachati, yachyate. Active voice, passive voice. He will ask for favors, and there will be people who ask for favors from others. So this kind of mutual favor seeking will be there. And punaha naraha sochati sochati punaha. So if anybody dies, the man is in grief. ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಸತ್ತೋಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಅವನು ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಅವನ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದಿ spree of lamentations. So lamentation is there at the mourning period. So everybody mourns, and he himself will be lamented. And then ಅವನು ಸತ್ತೋದ್ರೆ, if he dies, and what more is there? So you observe that this dvandvatvam is always chasing people. That is, to be born, to live, to ask for favors, to undergo changes, to be in grief, to be out from the grief, and to be begging others, and you being begged by others, and you are lamenting on others' death or others' loss, and you will be ultimately lamented by someone else. So thereby, this is the loka krama, loka vyavahara, loka achara. That's why in Lalita Sahasranamam and other namas, it is being complemented. She is said to be Lokayatra Vidhayini. Om Aim Hrim Srim Lalitambikaye Namaha. So Lokayatra Vidhayini, she is one who makes the Loka, the world, keep going. And with all the dvandvas. That's why Bhuloka is Dvandva Loka. And Swargaloka is beyond Dvandva. There is no difference at all. So Swarga is a better Loka when you have become Dvandvatita. That's why Dvandvatitaha Nirmatsaraha anತಾರೆ. ಈ ಮಾತ್ಸರ್ಯ ಭಾವನ will be there always, so long we are facing the two things. Idu, adu anta. But if you do not have that kind of dvandva, only one thing is there, you have no option or choice, you will just accept it like that. So, here, the loka vyavahar, that's why, and loka, what is loka? Loka is kalam. That's why it is said, Kalachakra pranetaram suryanarayanam bhaje. So Kalachakra pranetaram. So he is one who is trying to make the Kalachakra move on. And who is that? Suryanarayana. So Ahoratris are keeping on going and all that. So I think we have got only less than 1 minute, 40 minutes it is. 40 minutes program. And I don't know when we will get to another 10 minutes grace. Only the host must be able to do it. Otherwise, we have to stop. I just read the 45th sloka and stop. And sukham dukham bhava bhava bhav bhava bhavo labha labho maranam jivitancha paryayasaha sarvamiha sprusanti tasmat dhiraha naiva hrishyate na sochate. I explain to you the next one. Om swasti sahana vavatu.